My dear, if you've recently noticed that your hair sheds more after every shower, or every time you brush your hair, you see dozens of strands stuck in the comb, then the reason may not be age, may not be genetics, but may lie in the habit of how you brush your hair after bathing. And here is the surprising part, according to the latest recommendations from the American Academy of Dermatology. If you brush your hair incorrectly while it's still wet, your risk of breakage and shedding can increase 2-3 times. Because when hair is wet, it is about 30% weaker than dry hair, the cuticle is open, and the follicles are far more vulnerable to damage. But here is something most women over 60 don't know. Our hair at this stage is thinner, drier, and weaker because estrogen levels drop sharply after menopause. That means hair can no longer tolerate pulling force the way it did in our 20 seconds or 30 seconds. Which means a small habit you've done for decades, brushing your hair right after showering, is now pushing your hair into breakage, split ends, and accelerated shedding every day. In today's video, I'll explain very clearly why the familiar way you brush your hair is silently weakening the strands, the 3 most common mistakes women over 60 make, and most importantly, the correct, gentle, science-based way to brush your hair so it becomes stronger, fuller, and sheds less within just a few weeks. If you are 60, 65, 70, or even older, this video is truly for you, because just by changing what you do in the first 5 minutes after a shower, your hair can improve dramatically. In many years of working with women over 60, I have heard many stories that I still remember. And one of those stories came from Linda, 68, who lives in Florida. She came to see me looking very worried. She said, "Doctor, I think my hair is aging faster than I expected. In just a few months, I can see it getting thinner. Every time I finish showering, I just run my fingers through my hair and a whole handful falls out. I changed shampoo, I changed vitamins. Nothing helps." At that moment, I asked her one simple question. "When do you usually brush your hair?" And she instantly replied, "Right after I finish showering. I've done that all my life. Why would it be a problem, doctor?" Her answer is the same as thousands of women I've met. Because most of us brush our hair out of habit, something automatic, something we never think twice about. But Linda's body, and all of ours after age 60, is no longer the same. Hair follicles become smaller and weaker. The natural oils on the scalp decrease significantly, and hormones, the same ones that kept hair strong when we were young, are no longer abundant. So when the hair is wet and at its weakest, just a few strong strokes, brushing in the wrong direction, or using the wrong type of comb, can create hundreds of micro tears that the eye cannot see. These tiny injuries accumulate every day, turning into breakage, thinning, and a visibly weaker head of hair. After reviewing Linda's habits and guiding her to change just a few small steps, she returned 3 weeks later with a bright smile and said, "Doctor, I don't see hair falling all over my towel or comb anymore. I feel like I'm a few years younger." And once again, it reminded me of this truth. It's not that women over 60 cannot improve their hair. It's simply that they have never been shown the right way. Now, we're going to move into a very important section, the part that helps you understand why just one small habit, like brushing your hair after a shower, can cause so much hair loss. According to the American Academy of Dermatology, when hair is wet, the cuticle is open, the strands become softer and weaker, and their ability to withstand tension drops by up to 30%. This means a light pulling force on wet hair is equivalent to a much stronger pulling force on dry hair. Hello, I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. This means that hair after 60 is already fragile, thin, and brittle, and any mistimed pulling force can cause the shedding rate to be 2-3 times higher than in younger women. Hot water is also a silent enemy of the hair. Many women enjoy washing with hot water because it feels relaxing, but research from the AAD shows that hot water strips away the scalp's natural protective oils, leading to dryness, irritation, and increased shaft breakage. When you combine the two factors, wet hair plus hot water, the hair is in an extremely vulnerable state. And here is the most important part. Your hair is not falling out because you did something terribly wrong. Your hair is falling out because your body is changing, but your habits have remained the same as when you were younger. Yet just by adjusting a few small steps after showering, your hair can recover, strengthen, and shed far less within just a few weeks. Before we move on, I want to ask you one question. How old are you, and which state or country are you watching this video from? Please leave that number below in the comments. I love seeing how far our community of women over 60 stretches across the world. Mistake has shown. Brushing your hair while it's still wet. This is the most common mistake I see in women over 60. We've all done this for decades without thinking twice. But at age 60, the hair is not the same as before. When hair is soaking wet, it is at its weakest and most fragile. The open cuticle makes the strand stretch too easily. Just one strong brushstroke from roots to ends can create micro tears, invisible damage that accumulates every day. Within weeks, this becomes frizz, split ends, and noticeable breakage. On top of that, declining estrogen makes hair follicles smaller and reduces natural oil production. Hair that is already dry, brittle, and less elastic cannot tolerate being pulled while wet. Many women see lots of shedding during washing or brushing after a shower and assume it's just aging. But in reality, most of that hair loss comes from brushing at the wrong time. Wet hair is not only weaker, it also tangles more easily. When you try to detangle it while still wet, each tiny knot becomes a tension point, and the comb pulls so hard that the strand must break. This happens even in hair that looks thick and healthy. But when we're young, hair recovers better. After 60, every break is a permanent loss. I once worked with a 72-year-old patient who had thinning at her temples. She assumed it was hormones or nutritional deficiency, but the real cause was that she brushed her hair very aggressively right after showering. When I taught her to wait until the hair was 60–70% dry before brushing, she came back a few weeks later saying, "For the first time in years, my comb barely has any hair in it." This mistake is not your fault. It's simply that old habits eventually stop fitting a changing body. But just by adjusting a little, waiting for your hair to partially dry, or brushing much more gently, you will see a dramatic difference. A healthy head of hair is not just about outward beauty. It's about feeling confident and being gentle with yourself every single day. The second mistake I see in so many women over 60, even those who take excellent care of their hair, is rubbing the hair with a towel right after showering. Wrapping the towel around the head and rubbing back and forth used to work fine when we were younger, when the hair strands were thicker and stronger. But at age 60, the hair can no longer tolerate that level of friction. Even the softest cotton towel creates significant friction on the cuticle, which is wide open when the hair is wet. Every strong rub twists and pulls the strands, causing the cuticle to lift or crack. These tiny cracks are invisible, but they cause the hair to lose moisture faster, become frizzier, and break more easily when brushed. The scalp of women over 60 is also drier due to reduced oil production. When exposed to strong towel rubbing, the scalp becomes easily irritated or inflamed around the follicles, making new hair grow in thinner and weaker. I once had a 65-year-old patient who always rubbed her hair vigorously to dry it faster. But that very habit caused her hair to stay dry and brittle for years. When I taught her to simply blot gently instead of rubbing, after just a few weeks her hair became softer, less frizzy, and she no longer saw broken strands stuck to her towel. Just one small change like that significantly reduced hair breakage after age 60. The third mistake sounds small, but happens very frequently. Using the right comb but at the wrong time. Many women invest in wide-tooth combs or anti-breakage brushes, but still brush their hair when it is 80–90% wet. When hair is still saturated with water, the cuticle is wide open, the strand is soft, and it stretches easily. No matter how gently you try to detangle, the pulling force is much stronger compared to when the hair has partially dried. I once worked with a 70-year-old patient who had thinning at the crown. She took very good care of her hair, used the right combs and treatments, but her hair still broke in chunks every time she brushed. The reason was simple. She always brushed immediately after towel drying, when the hair was still almost completely wet. So even the best comb in the world couldn't protect her hair if the timing was wrong. The mechanism is very clear. The wetter the hair, the stronger the pulling force. Tiny knots become tension points, forcing the comb to stretch the strand until it snaps at its weakest spot. This not only makes the hair thinner over time, but also creates short, broken pieces that make the hair look frizzy and lifeless. If you hear a small click or snag while brushing, or you see many short hairs caught in your comb, that's a clear sign you're brushing too early. What you need is not a new comb, it's a new timing. Simply wait until your hair is 60–70% dry before detangling. At that point, the cuticle has partially closed, the strand is more elastic, and the pulling force is significantly reduced. Just this small adjustment can help you save dozens, even hundreds of strands each week. The fourth mistake that many women believe they are doing correctly, but is actually weakening their hair every single day, is turning the blow dryer to high heat and aiming it directly at the roots from the very present first seconds. I completely understand the desire to dry hair quickly, especially when the weather is cold or when you're in a hurry. But for hair after age 60, high heat doesn't just make the hair dry. It creates a specific type of damage called thermal shock, where the hair shaft rapidly expands and contracts. When hair is wet and the roots are still soft, the moisture inside evaporates too quickly under intense heat, creating microscopic cracks along the hair shaft. These cracks make hair frizzy, split-ended, and break easily no matter how much oil or serum you apply afterward. Not only that, high heat aimed directly at the scalp makes hair follicles sensitive, dry, and stripped of their natural protective layer. Weak follicles are exactly why new hair grows in thinner and sparser. I once had a 6-year-old patient who cared for her hair very diligently. But the more she blow-dried, the drier and more brittle her hair became. Simply switching to the cool setting and avoiding placing the dryer directly against the scalp transformed her hair within a few weeks. Softer, fuller, and with almost no broken strands on her shoulders. This proves the issue is not blow-drying, it's how we blow-dry when our hair changes with age. Hello. I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. Even high-quality oils won't work properly in this condition, and applying oil before using high heat creates a frying effect when heat meets oils with a low smoke point. The hair overcooks from the inside, becoming weaker over time and more prone to breakage when brushed. A 63-year-old patient had the exact same issue. She applied oil immediately after washing to seal in moisture, but her hair was always greasy and lifeless. When I taught her to apply oil only when the hair was about 50–60% dry, within just a week her hair became softer, lighter, and no longer greasy. The key is not the type of oil, it's the timing. Now, I want to share a very simple but incredibly effective routine. A routine that takes just 5 minutes after your shower, yet can make your hair stronger, softer, and noticeably reduce breakage. Step 1. As soon as you step out of the shower, do not brush your hair. Instead, use a soft towel to gently press, not rub, not twist, to absorb excess water. This reduces friction and helps the cuticle close naturally. If you are used to wrapping a towel tightly around your head, try changing this just once, and you'll see your hair become less frizzy and less tangled. Step 2. Let the hair rest for a few minutes. Instead of rushing to detangle, let it settle. Gently separate sections with your fingers. This reduces tension during brushing and prevents hair from being pulled when it's too damp. Step 3. If you use hair oil or repair serum, apply it when your hair is about 50% damp. This is the golden window when the hair absorbs nutrients best. Just a small amount, from mid-length to the ends, creates a thin protective layer against friction and heat. Step 4. When the hair is 60–70% dry, that's when you should start using a comb. A wide-tooth comb is ideal for women over 60. Brush from the ends upward, slowly. If you encounter a knot, don't pull, support the hair above it and gently loosen the knot from below. This method can reduce breakage by up to 70%. Step 5. When using a blow dryer, switch to cool or low warm air and keep the dryer at least 15-20 centimeters, 6-8 inches away from the hair. Dry only about halfway. Let the rest air dry naturally. Hair after 60 is much more sensitive to heat, and reducing heat even slightly gives it a real chance to recover. This 5-minute ritual not only strengthens the hair, but also helps you feel like you're caring for yourself gently and intentionally. Many women have told me that after a few weeks of following this routine, their hair felt revived, softer, fuller, and more alive. And I truly believe that if you try it, you will feel the same. Now that you clearly understand the root causes of hair breakage after 60, and you know how to care for your hair properly right after showering, I want to share a few gentle, safe, and age-appropriate dermocosmetic options for older women. These products are not miracles that make the hair grow longer overnight, but they create the essential foundation your hair needs to become stronger day after day. One of the ingredients I often recommend for women over 60 is niacinamide, in a 3-5% concentration formulated for the scalp. Hello. I'm delighted to assist you with our voice services. Choose a voice that resonates with you, and let's begin our creative audio journey together. Some peptide-containing products also help soften the hair, reduce frizz, and improve elasticity. All crucial benefits, as hair becomes more fragile after age 60. If you prefer natural options, rosemary oil and pumpkin seed oil are two worth trying. Some small studies show that rosemary oil can help reduce mild shedding in people experiencing age-related thinning. Pumpkin seed oil has antioxidant properties that help protect follicles from low-grade chronic inflammation, a common cause of increased shedding in older women. However, you should always dilute these oils and patch test before use to avoid irritation. Many women also ask me about biotin and collagen supplements. While they are not solutions for every case, for those with low-protein diets or nutrient deficiencies, biotin and collagen can help improve overall hair quality over time. The most important thing is to take them in moderate amounts. Following recommendations from institutions like the NIH, there is no need for high doses because the body cannot absorb more than it needs. Above all, remember this. Dermocosmetics are simply support tools. They work best when paired with the correct care routine we discussed earlier. Gently blotting your hair after showering, waiting until hair is 60-70% dry before brushing, avoiding high heat, and applying oils at the right time. When these elements work together, your hair has a real opportunity to recover naturally, becoming stronger from root to tip. Alongside external care, hair after 60 also needs nourishment from within. The first thing I always remind my patients is this: hair is made of protein. Your body needs enough protein each day to create strong new strands. Harvard recommends that older women consume 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Even a slight deficiency can gradually lead to thinning. Omega-3 seconds from salmon, flaxseed, or chia seeds help reduce inflammation around the follicles, creating a healthier scalp environment. Research also shows that many women over 60 are deficient in vitamin D, iron, ferritin, and zinc nutrients directly connected to the hair growth cycle. When these levels are restored, new hair tends to grow in stronger and less prone to breakage. Proper hydration is equally important. When the body is dehydrated, the scalp becomes dry, and hair becomes more brittle, tangled, and breakable. Simply drinking 6-8 glasses of water a day can noticeably improve softness and elasticity. When we look back at the entire journey of caring for hair after 60, it becomes clear that hair does not weaken for one single reason. It weakens due to many small habits repeated every day. Brushing while wet, rubbing with a towel, detangling at the wrong time, using too much heat, or applying oil incorrectly. All these things contribute to thinning without us noticing. But the wonderful part is this: just a few simple changes after showering, combined with gentler habits, can make your hair stronger, softer, and far less prone to breakage. The body of a woman after 60 still has an impressive ability to heal. It simply needs us to treat it kindly every day. My dear, if you've watched this far, It tells me something important. You truly care about your health and beauty, and you absolutely deserve a head of hair that is healthier, softer, and full of life, whether you're 60, 70, or beyond. Every small change we discussed today can create a big difference if you stay consistent. If this video has given you a new understanding or helped you finally recognize the cause of your long-term hair breakage, I would love for you to leave a comment below. How old are you, and what concerns you most about your hair right now? I read all the comments, and I'm grateful for every story shared by women like you. And if you want more videos about hair, skin, and wellness created specifically for women over 60, don't forget to like and subscribe so YouTube can continue recommending the most helpful content for you. I'll see you in the next video, wishing you health, beauty, and confidence every single day.